Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your buddy Double D, and we're back today with another guide slash tutorial video. Today we're going to be talking about my gear setup and my talent choices so that you guys can kind of see what build I'm running. I had a couple of people asking, so here's the video. Let's jump right into this. Let's take a look at my weapon loadout that I'm currently using and my main stats first. I have 180k DPS, 68k health, and then only 9.6 skill power. I would like to have some more health and skill power. I am modded towards firepower in some of my slots over here in the gear. We'll get into that in a second. So maybe one of the things that I can do is change around some of those mods, maybe swap out some firearms gear for electronics gear. I don't know. I'm gonna play around with it over the next week or so, and I'll let you guys know what I come up with. But for right now, these are my stats, and they work pretty well for me. I am using the AUG as my main weapon. It's a great gun. If you want to know more about it or any of the submachine guns, go ahead and check out my last videos. I've done a full review on the Vector, the Midas. I did a full review on the MP5 and a full review on the AUG. So the AUG is my favorite right now. I got some pretty good rolls on it. Again, if you want to see all that, just check out my last video. The second weapon that I'm going to be using is the shotgun, just because I don't really like the way that marksman rifles feel, and I play a very up-in-your-face build, so maybe if I find a good one and get a good roll, I'd use that over the shotgun. But for right now, I'm using the shotgun, and then obviously a pistol in my sidearm. You can use sawed-off double-barrel shotguns, I think, but I've never actually used them. Maybe that's something I'll look into later. Jumping right into it, let's take a look at this gear that I have. Now, a lot of this gear is not going to be optimized. Some of it is, but most of it probably is not, simply because it costs Phoenix credits to re-roll your gear, your high-end gear, and you're not guaranteed to get what you want on the first roll, and every time you re-roll it, it costs more Phoenix credits. So that's kind of rough, and I've been spending all of my Phoenix credits on these blueprints to do weapon reviews for you guys, but, you know, it's all good. Let's take a look at this. Reckless is the talent that I'm going to have on this armor, and it's pretty good. It increases the damage by 12.5%. It also increases incoming damage by 10%, but I mean, I haven't really had a problem staying alive that much, so I roll with it because, you know, extra damage. I have 10% protection from elites, so that kind of negates the incoming damage increase. I have extra health, extra armor, and then, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. And then down here you see skill attributes, 2.5% mobile cover damage. Obviously that has not been re-rolled. When I get the Phoenix credits, that will be re-rolled to pulse critical hit damage. Going down, the mask is pretty nice. I've got 2 gear mods on it. My daughter is pawing at my hand right now. Enduring, while in the last health segment, health continuously regenerates to fill up the segment. So that's really nice when you get really low and you're just hiding. Nothing's on everything's on cooldown. You don't have any med packs or anything. It's nice. You can hang out and get that health segment back. And then my 2 mod slots. So I've got 2 firearm mods in here. Maybe that will be the first place that I take firearms away and put in something like stamina or skill power. I don't know, we'll see. I've got the mods laying around, just haven't played with it. And the knee pads are crafted operator knee pads. You get those from the vendor upstairs in your main base of operations for Phoenix credits. I got the blueprint, and I tried rolling a couple of them, and I guess I'm pretty happy with these. I get the mod slot, that's the biggest thing, and I'll probably try and re-roll again once I have some Phoenix credits. I'll probably try and re-roll that skill attribute into pulse critical hit damage again, since that's kind of like the bread and butter of this build, but we'll get into that in a second. Tactical pack, you can see nothing special. Relentless 3% of damage dealt by skills is returned as healing. I don't use skills to do DPS, so that's kind of pointless for me. It's got a 52 backpack capacity. You know, I played, I think, probably up to level 20 before I realized that the size of your backpack is determined by the actual backpack, but that's because I'm a noob. Major attributes, critical hit damage, that has been re-rolled, and I also have a stamina. So I've got some pretty good stats on this one for my build. I've got the critical hit damage. Ammo capacity is nice just because I'm running submachine gun. The pulse duration is nice because, again, that is the bread and butter of this build. and the advanced stamina mod to help me with that low HP. Let's go ahead and look at these gloves. These gloves, I know for a fact, have been re-rolled to be optimized because I got really excited when I finally got them to re-roll. Cunning, after reloading, the next shot with this weapon has a 9% higher critical hit chance. That's cool with like sniper rifles and marksman rifles, but for everything else it's just kind of whatever. Here we go, major attributes. This is where it looks great. I get critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and submachine gun damage. When I crafted it, it came with the critical hit chance and the critical hit damage, and I had to re-roll the SMG damage from LMG damage, I believe, but man, was it worth it. And then my superior holster, I am running an agent holster. It's just something that I picked up along the way. It does have pulse critical hit damage. I re-rolled that, and it's got all 3 stats across the board, which is pretty nice. I'm having trouble finding a craftable one that's going to have equal stats and not cost a ton of Phoenix credits to re-roll. But once I do, I'll craft it and get into that. Start optimizing all of this stuff. So there's my gear. You can see it's not great. What I do want to show you though is I'm going to come over here to character. I am going to show you this. So critical hit chance is at 42.5%. I'm about 18, I don't math that good, but 18 or 17.5 to be exact percent away from the soft cap at 60%. But you know, that's all right. With the critical hit chance and damage that I get from pulse, it all kind of evens out. Critical hit damage is 107%. Headshot damage is 145%. And these are coming from my SMG that I'm using. If I were to use a different weapon, these stats would be much lower. So that's why I'm using the weapon that I'm using. And then the last thing that I want to show you is going to be all the way down in the survivability, and that's my armor. Mitigates 53.1% weapon damage. So I'm about 7% shy of the armor cap, which is 60% as well. I do not know if it's 60% across the board. I can't imagine that headshot damage could, you know, so easily go up to 100% plus. And be capped out at 60%, but I need to do some research into that, and I'll let you guys know. So that armor, let's see, where did I go? Here we go. That armor rating is going to help me survive even with a really low hit point pool. So now let's get over into my talents. I don't have the medical wing fully unlocked because I'm just lazy, and I still need the last the healing skill is the last thing I need, and that's 1,000. And I think I have like 100, so at some point I got to go grind that out. Well, that's neither here nor there. So let's take a look at these skills. I'm using First Aid with Booster Shot. Temporarily increases damage for the affected targets in additional to the normal healing effect. Now, because of my low skill power, it's not going to heal me a whole lot. It's going to heal me for, you know, about half of a segment, but that temporary boost to damage. And then the other thing, sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. The other thing to really pay attention to here that's not in the tooltip is watch when I use the ability, damage bonus and damage resistance. So I don't know which one of those is a typo or a tooltip error. I don't know if the description is missing it or if the thing that pops up is added and it's not really in effect, but that's what I use. I use it for survivability and a little DPS boost, which is really nice, especially when you're playing solo, which I do a lot of. And then the bread and butter of this build, Pulse, Tactical Scanner mod. Damage is increased when attacking any hostile targets identified by the pulse scan. You can look down at the bottom, you can see critical hit chance and critical hit damage. So that is huge, especially when you're using SMGs. That is going to give you a huge boost to your crit chance and your crit damage, and you're just going to absolutely melt everybody in your path. The signature skill that I'm using is Survivor Link, and it's not just because that's the only one that I have unlocked. If I had all 3 of these unlocked, I would probably still use Survivor Link just because it's so good for, yeah, you guessed it, surviving, and it makes you very tanky. So that's gonna, let's see, that's gonna synergize really well with these talents that I'm running. Let's take a look over here. Again, I don't have all the talents unlocked, but use a med kit when not at full health to receive an overheal. It's just gonna make med kits heal you for more, which obviously is good, especially when you're running low skill power and a self heal. On the move, this is a really big one for this build. Kill a hostile while moving to reduce incoming damage by 30% for 10 seconds. So again, just more damage mitigation for me, helps me survive. Basically the way you want to do this is hide behind cover and shoot at someone until they're just about dead. Pop out from cover and just kind of side strafe back and forth a few times. Kill them, get that damage buff, and or the armor buff rather, sorry, and pop back into cover. Headshot a hostile to pulse them for 10 seconds. I am not sure if that triggers the critical hit chance and critical hit damage against pulse targets, but I use it anyways. And if I had the last one, where is it? I would use critical save, using a medkit during low health to increase damage resistant by 40% for 10 seconds. So saving those medkits until you get down to that last health segment, probably about halfway through, and then popping a medkit is going to give you a huge damage resistance and a giant overheal. So those synergize really well together, and once I get the med wing unlocked, that's what I'm going to use. So anyways, there's my build, my stats, my gear. Obviously not everything is optimized right now. I'm still on the gear hunt, and that's probably the thing that I really like about the Division is once you get to end game, you're constantly finding new stuff and you can constantly craft new stuff. But the best thing about it is you're not always getting the best gear, and it makes optimizing and tweaking and fine-tuning a lot of fun. You have to really put a lot of effort into it. So kudos to Massive and Ubisoft for doing that the right way. Anyways, this is the end of the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some insight and helped give you some ideas for your own personal build. If you did, make sure to thumbs up the video, please. If you have not, go ahead and drop a subscription. Hang out. I like to meet new people. Leave some comments. 100% viewer interaction is my goal. So I hope this helped. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Double D out.